Bonjour. This is G, and welcome to Behind the Mic Live, where I sit down and interview incredible coaches, public speakers, and entrepreneurs who are making big rock star moves in their business. Today, my rock star guest is Elena Apalkova. She is the founder and CEO and podcast host of Mindset2Results. So please welcome to Behind the Mic Live, Elena. How are you?
Hi, G. Thank you so much. It's honor for me to be guest in your podcast show, and I'm here to get excited and also inspire other people who listen to us today.
Perfect. And thank you for having me as a guest on your show. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. Your show that's just blowing up, Mindset to Results. But I want to know, who is Elena?
Who is Elena? Elena is somebody who always grow up and always coming out of her comfort zone
Mm-hmm.
because it was a long journey.
Mm-hmm.
And I was born in former Soviet Union in Ukraine, which is now
Mm-hmm.
Ukraine, and we know
Right.
that even till now it's not easy to live in Ukraine, and it didn't start just 2 years ago. It started many years ago. So just briefly to tell you that my parents, like my grandparents, they were killed just because they were wealthy when there was first
Oh my God.
revolution, just because people had property, had cows, they had something like were doing better than others. They just were killed for that, and all their property got confiscated. So my parents,
Yeah.
it was when there was a first world war, and my father's father died when my father was just 3 months. And
Oh my
it
God.
because it was the war with Germany, and he was a doctor. And when he was with the people, carrying them from like wounded people, carrying them from one band to another, bomb just finished their lives. And now this is
Oh
again
wow.
what we know happening in Ukraine. So we are like generations. If we look past like 3 generations, was really facing such a big challenges. And when I was small, it was Soviet Union. It was very different mentality from what is in Western countries,
Right.
which
Right.
people
Right.
can speak openly what they
Mm-hmm.
think, they can decide, and success is appreciated. But in Soviet Union, their success was not appreciated. You cannot be different. Like we were taught from school. I remember when I was small girl in the school, and every room had the portrait of the Lenin who did that revolution. And
Oh
that was so much brainwashing that I
wow.
remember. I remember my thoughts. I was a little girl, maybe yet 1 or 2 at the primary school, and I remember my thoughts so clear now that I was looking at that photo of that Lenin, and I was thinking, I'm so happy. Thank you, Lenin, that like I am in this country, because in my little girl mind,
Hmm.
my country, that Soviet Union, was just one island of life and peace, and where we had like good life. And in my imagination, everything beyond that island, I thought it was just darkness and the wars and hunger. And I
Oh
was so
wow.
happy that I was in that place. So
Wow.
yeah. uh,
Wow.
yes, so this, like this brainwashing, it plays such a big role, because I remember till the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991, and I
Mm-hmm.
was 18. And I remember that I was still looking at other people. When I just was looking people from abroad, I was looking at them, and I wanted to find something what is different.
Wow.
Can you imagine? Like, I thought in my imagination that people from other countries, like, they should look like aliens. Like, if I go out,
Aliens. Oh my
aliens.
God. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
And
Wow.
yes, so it is big, it is big. So
Wow.
when you ask me who is Elena, I say that, yeah, Elena is somebody who just closed that
Mm,
huge gap between that brainwashing, so many challenges in many generations, and decided when she was even young. I remember myself, since I can remember myself, when I was very young, I always wanted for more. I was
mm,
looking around. I didn't like how we lived, how my parents lived,
right.
although we were uh, we were positioned like a high society. In that
Okay.
society, my father was professor of the university. He was head of the Academy of Science, so he was managing many scientists. So
Mm-hmm.
at that time, like our family was like top class family, but still nobody was allowed to do better than others.
Wow.
Everybody should be average. And I remember that my father was so talented. He was so ambitious. He was really very, very intelligent person, very smart, but he couldn't break that rules, those paradigms
Wow.
of
Wow.
that
So
society.
so how did you get from there to now you're here in the UK, right? I mean, and you got your business and your podcast. How did you go from growing up that way to, having this the drive that you have, the entrepreneurship, the drive? How do you have that drive?
I will just tell shortly few decades
Okay. Okay.
because I'm not that young anymore, although I can look like that. But it was few decades. It took me a lot. So
Okay.
first, I understood that there is nobody who can help me. It
Mm.
happened when the Soviet Union collapsed, and my father was scientist. There was no budget for science, no support for scientists. So I remember how my father was going for a walk every day for 2 years with having no money. He was just going there to
Oh
support,
wow.
encourage people, those amazing scientists with so many inventions,
Mm.
but there was no internet. They didn't know how to reach out to the world to tell about their inventions, and they had amazing inventions. And I remember the time when we didn't have food. Yeah, because
Oh
my
wow.
father was going for a job and he was not getting any income. I remember how we had to sell my car just to pay for my university so I can graduate. The last thing what I went to the dean of the university, which
Oh
we
wow.
did when we didn't have money to pay, I offered him type machine. I just went
Yeah.
there and say, can we exchange? I will bring you out
Wow.
machine and you let me finish university.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
So it was my experience. So from that, of course, it is long time past. One thing I understood that it is only me who I can rely on, because we didn't
Yeah.
have relatives. As I told you, our ancestors were killed or whatever.
Mhm.
So I knew that I had to focus and rely only on me. I have nobody in the world. When my father couldn't support us, and we had the time when my mother is just like getting maybe some flour and water and making some these pancakes, I knew what hunger means, and I decided at the time that I want to change this. I didn't know how. So in my mind, how I could change that? There were not so many opportunities, right? So
Wow.
I decided that I'm going to study,
Okay.
because I thought that the only way how I can get out of this, I have to study, I have to invest knowledge, I have to find, I have to learn languages. So after university, I was going to library and I was reading books, I was learning English. I didn't know exactly what to learn, but I was just getting books and I just was so passionate about getting
Yes.
knowledge. I didn't know what I have to learn, but I thought that okay, when I study, I will know more, and this the way will show up. And this story shortly, I got a scholarship from Iran because I was in university studying international economic relations, and
Okay.
I got scholarship from Iran as they saw that I'm very bright student. So one of the
Mhm.
Ukraine, I got this offer to get my master degree and PhD in Iranian philology and
Oh wow.
like
Wow.
literature language, and
Yep.
I accepted that.
Mhm.
because I just thought it is the way just how to go out of that closed system.
Mhm.
And this is
Mhm.
how I got my first master degree, and also I get another master degree in my university for international economics. Then when I did so much study, I understand that if I work according to the education which I got in Ukraine, there was $30-40 monthly salary, and it I couldn't live with that
Oh,
money. That
wow.
was just money for my chocolate or my like some sweets.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, so I decided to start my business. So I
Yeah.
started different businesses. I became successful. Then shortly, again decades, I became very successful in network marketing, and I was making big money. But my those childhood conditioning, the money what
Mm.
I get, even it was so big money, very big money. I made million euros within just 2 years,
Mhm.
starting from scratch, starting from zero,
Yep.
knowing nothing about network marketing. But because I was so passionate and
Right.
focused, I created big results. But
Mhm.
interesting thing that because of those paradigms, not having money before, actually it didn't change much, because when I was knowing that I will receive tomorrow, for example, 50,000 of 50,000, 30,000 every week, I was getting big money. I
Right.
already thought where I should send them to work, because in my mind I knew that money should work, and I was getting money and investing them in different
Okay.
startups, having no idea what is going on. And
Okay.
it is like money was just going through me, and I was buying property, but I was so naive. And it happened that some people who I trusted in Turkey, and they had 3 apartments, they stolen everything from me.
Oh my God.
Yes, and this time was when we just moved from Ukraine, when this first war started in
Mm.
2014. I took my mother, I took my father, I took my brother, my daughter. I
Mhm.
was alone to take care of everybody, and this
Wow.
happened. And this is also just happened after my father passed away. So
I'm
it was very,
sorry.
very big shock for me. And
No.
that situation, when I look back, again, just telling shortly because I know we have limited time. So that situation was the best situation in my life that happened to me. Yes,
Wow.
although it was very hard there. Yes, I was in the most down, deepest situation in my life,
Right.
and I
Right.
was alone again to figure it out, how to get all my family out of that situation where I put them. And this was the best moment, because that situation helped me to change. There are
Mm.
two only ways how people change.
Okay.
The one way is when they have emotional impact,
Okay.
and another way is through constant space repetition. So that one thing happened to me when I had that big emotional impact, and it shaken me so much that I
Right.
understood that I am doing something wrong. Like it cannot be so. Like how I can improve myself, and that is how first time I decided that I want to be value myself. I want not to depend on anything, like because that
Right.
losing those material things and investing and losing, it always shaken me so much. So that moment I decided that I want to become the value. So how I can become that value? That I don't depend on material things, and I can anything what happens, I can always stand on my feet and always be confident that I can create, generate income. And this is how my journey started from that situation. It took me
Yeah.
half a year. I started looking for the best coaches in the world, the best
Mhm.
leaders, so
Mhm.
in influencers, yes, like thought leaders.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I found Joe Dispenza, Tony Robbins, and Bob
Mhm.
Proctor. And I was just listening to them like hours. I was reading
Right.
book hours. And one day I decided that I want to work with Bob Proctor.
Okay.
And I wrote his name on the banner.
Okay.
And I had no idea how it can happen, because I was in Ukraine and he was in Canada. Like he's like world no legend. And can you imagine, in 2 weeks, I found myself sitting in the webinar with him where he made this offer to become his consultant, Proctor Institute consultant.
Wow. Wow. You manifested that.
Yes,
Wow.
exactly,
Wow.
exactly. And yes, and I became Proctor Institute consultant. Was my first
Mm-hmm.
big step. It was huge stretch for me because
Mm-hmm.
investment to be a consultant with him was $30,000, which I
Oh,
didn't
wow.
have at the time. But I was feeling that it is what I meant to be. I have to learn from him, and that was
Yeah.
a great opportunity to be in his energy, just to learn everything
Yeah.
from this
Yeah.
person who dedicated 60 years of his life to learn
Yeah.
human potential and success. So from that, my journey started. Yes, and when I started learning that materials, I got so deep. I was studying like for 10 hours every day. I was so obsessed with this information. I was like that hungry person, like who was hungry for years,
Right.
was
Right.
looking for this information and they just given access. So I want to just learn everything. And this is
Wow.
how my journey became, and this is how I became so passionate about what I do now and about empowering business owners and entrepreneurs, because I understood that there is such a big gap between what we know and
Mm-hmm.
what we do. And this is what we do that causes results which we get in life.
Yes. Let's talk about that. Your 6D method, turn desire to destiny. And what can entrepreneurs do to achieve their goals?
The first, what they have to do is to study themselves, to
Okay.
understand who they really are. Yes, to understand what is their genius, because everyone is genius, and
Mm.
what is their strength, that
Mm.
really something that they love to do, something that they have talents and gifts, and even if they wouldn't be paid for that, they would still loving to do that. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
so this is the first one, and to find the burning desire.
Okay.
Because if we really want to achieve ambitious goals, if we want to really achieve the highest level of success, what we can just imagine, we have to find out what we are strong at and what we really want to do, what is our burning desire.
Okay.
Because we have to be excited. We
Right.
have to be excited, and this burning desire should be scaring. Yeah, so from one side it should be exciting, like we have that excitement and that energy where we get
Mm-hmm.
all this, like from inside, that energy, yes, to face the challenges, to overcome them, to overcome fears.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to get that energy, and if our desires, these big goals, don't scare us and don't excite us, it means that it is not right goal. Because if the goal is too small, like something that we did before or we
Right.
know how to do, it will not excite us a lot. It is not right goal. Yes, because we don't see that the reward should be so high, it should be so exciting when you see yourself there, that you are ready to do whatever it takes every day to get there. Yes, this is how you
Mm.
become bold and you don't care about the challenges. Yes, because
Right. Right.
like how you just look at the failure, that it is just a part of the journey. Yes, so the first is desire, and I like the quote of Earl Nightingale, who said that success is the progressive realization of the worthy ideal. So the first thing is to find that worthy ideal. What is really worthy your life? What is really
Mm-hmm.
worthy your time, your efforts, your skills, why you are in this planet? What makes you really excited? Yes, that is the step number one.
Okay. What's step number two?
The step number two is closing a knowing doing gap.
Okay.
Yes, this is a very big thing because we don't do what we know. And our education
Mm.
system was totally um, based on making us and making children to know things, to collect information.
Right.
So
Right.
we were all collecting information, and then We can see so many people who are brilliant, who have so much knowledge, like walking encyclopedias, but they're totally helpless in life. They don't know how to do
Right.
things, how to make success. So the second is to close knowing doing gap, and
Mhm.
how to start doing what we already know, because this is so big gap. And in every company there are people who do so much less that they know that they have to do, right? So how
Right.
to start doing what we already know and implement that knowledge and skills. This
Yes.
is the second one.
Yes, and I want to talk. I want to talk about your podcast as we're limited on time. But I want to because so if you want more information about the 6D method, get in touch with Elena and go through her program because I've seen this and it works. It's amazing. Let's talk about your show. I was a guest on your show. Thank you again. And you're churning out like so many shows. I mean, you're releasing like 2 or 3 shows a day or something. You're interviewing like everybody on LinkedIn. It's incredible. Your show, Mindset to Results. And I know that we're celebrating. How long has the show? Tell me how did the show come about, and then tell me about the celebration that you mentioned in the post. Yeah.
Yes, we celebrate more than 85,000 views,
Wow.
which we got just within 3 months. I
Wow.
started this podcast in May, and I
Okay. Yeah.
started posting YouTube like videos, the shorts from the
Yep.
episode on YouTube. I think in June, some beginning of the June.
Yep.
So now we are 3 months from there, and we have 1,272 subscribers, and more than 85,000 views. I think that in 10 days we will reach 200,000 views, and that will be big celebration. And I thought about celebrating it with all the guests which we had till now who started.
Okay.
I
One big
created
Zoom.
one.
One big
Yeah,
Zoom.
yes, and I created one very interesting project for to just
Okay.
appreciate all the guests which we had and who created that impact. And I got so many ideas what we will do in the next half a year to get everybody in
Right.
social media marketing and doing together events. Yeah, it would be amazing.
Yeah. Well, you know what I do is teaching people how to go on camera, how to go on stage, and my background with the music industry. A band gets out and plays a show and plays another show and another show. If a garage band played one show a month, it would take them a whole year to play 12 shows. It's going to take them 10 years to build an audience. But it's the same thing with your podcast. By getting out there, every time you're interviewing somebody, that's another show, literally a show. And you're learning about them, you're learning more about yourself. You've got this incredible presence when you're on camera. And yes, I love the AI that you're using. You can talk about your program that you use too, that you actually can create all these clips. So you can have that one show and then create like hundreds of clips. And it's just like every time I look at LinkedIn, there's another clip. Lately they've been a lot of me too, so thank you. But there's another clip, and it's like every time you're doing that, that's literally presenting your show to a new audience. This is equivalent in my mind of you going out on tour and going and playing like 100 shows, 100 different cities, because you're interviewing so many people. So what type of guest are you looking for to be on your show? Who's watching this? Who would be your ideal guest?
Yes, let's speak first who is my ideal audience. So then we
Okay.
speak who is
Yes.
ideal guest, right?
Yes.
So ideal audience, why I started this podcast, because I want to empower business owners and entrepreneurs who are driven, who are ambitious, who really
Mm.
know that they are meant for more, they want to do more. And this show has this mission to empower such people. Why entrepreneurs? Because I think that they play such a big role in society, because they create the jobs, they create the company paradigms where they can create a great atmosphere. When people come to the work, they can be created, they can feel appreciated. Yes, and
Mhm.
when they create this success. So I think that business owners, entrepreneurs, they are so much really need that encouragement and
Mhm.
know this knowledge which I learned, because so much things is hidden in our subconscious mind. And when we understand that, how we can get in control, how we can make decisions, how we can be really the leader that all other people want to follow, it will help not only companies, it will help the families of those people who work there, and it will impact all the society, right? So
Mm.
who is the ideal guest? People like you, who have experience, who have knowledge, who want to impact. This is why we have podcasts like you. Yes, why you put this time and dedicate it to invite me and other people, because we want to share the knowledge, we want to
Yes.
impact the world, we want to make this world a better place. Because it is not anymore about television like before. Nobody could do much, because all information which people were receiving was just through these channels which were
Yes.
open, and totally were checked information, and information was given in the way
Yes.
how the authorities wanted people to think, right? But
Yes.
now I think that everybody can be responsible for the world we live in, and it all starts from us. And we can take responsibility for our consciousness, about our awareness, how we act every day, how we grow, and how we can help people who live with us. So everybody who has that value, and
Yes.
what I noticed really, that, and it is such a privilege for me to interview these people, because I see amazing people with such a powerful life stories. Everybody come like a book, and they just
Yes.
speaking.
Yes.
Yes, speaking with people is like reading the book, and it is so
Yes.
exciting. And that's why I just cannot stop. I cannot say even like wait for next week. If I see that people want to be on the podcast, I
Yep.
just open calendar, and I just want to interview more people to let
Yep.
them be seen and heard, because I know that these stories, this experience, they will help many people who really now looking for solutions for their
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I know a lot of people put importance on TED Talks, and I get TED Talks. I mean, it is a big audience, and it's one show. It's one show. When you go on a podcast, as you're a coach, you're promoting your business, you go on a podcast. That's a show. So get booked on Elena's podcast. Reach out to me about this podcast. If you can sit in your home studio, like you were saying with the technology advancement, and literally go on 5 or 10 different shows all over the world without having to leave your house. I mean, that just is incredible to think about. So I want to know, how can people work with you? How can they sign up for your podcast? How can they work with you on your coaching? What's the best way for people to get in touch with you?
The best way is to visit our website, mindset2results.com,
Mm-hmm.
and there are all information how to contact us, about what we do, how to work with us. Also, I am in all social media. I have YouTube, Mindset to Results,
Yes,
Elena
your YouTube
Apalkova.
is blowing up, and you're on LinkedIn. You're everywhere on LinkedIn
Yes, and Facebook. So
and
you're
Facebook.
welcome to contact me. I'm really very open person. I
Yeah,
welcome everyone to contact me. I love people, and I really want to impact their lives with the knowledge and
yeah.
experience which I had.
Wow. Before we go, I have to know, who is your favorite rock star?
My favorite rock star. Interesting question. I liked Michael Jackson.
Oh,
Yes,
yes. Okay. Yes. Yes.
yes, I liked
Yes.
Michael Jackson, and my favorite singer is Celine Dion.
Celine Dion. Did you see her performance at the Olympics in Paris?
Yeah, yeah, I'm so happy that she feels better. Yes, that she's
Oh,
back.
tell me, why is Celine your favorite singer?
I like her personality. Yes, she's just
Yeah.
amazing human being, and also the way how she faces her health challenges.
Yeah.
Yes, it is incredible how she deals with it, and she doesn't give up. And yeah, just I like her. She is very talented. She has beautiful voice, and also
Yes.
she's my role model.
Yes, this is great. Yeah. Well, everyone, be sure to connect with Elena on LinkedIn. Check out her show on YouTube and her hundreds of episodes. What episode number are you on right now? You've only started like 2, 3 months ago. Do you know
Yeah,
what
we are
episode number
number
you're
six
on?
62. Yeah, we have 62 scheduled episodes already.
62. Wow, you're going to be at 100 in no time. You got to connect with her, contact her to be a guest on her show because she's an incredible interviewer as well. And check out her website mindset2 results.com. And I want to thank you again for being on the show. This has been so much fun. Thank you for your story. I've known you for a while now and I didn't know your story, so your story is so touching, and I want to make sure people hear, how you've just overcome everything, how you really are truly a rock star. So I want to thank you for taking time to be on the show.
Thank you so much, G. I also appreciate your time and what you do to impact people.
Oh,
So
thanks.
let's do it together. Let's help people to transform their lives.
Perfect. All right, guys, until next time. Ciao. See ya. Bye.
Bye.